Conference of the Parties of the UNFCCC, there's a lot of discussion about how much greenhouse gases countries should be allowed to emit into the atmosphere, and negotiation about how the carbon budget, as it's spoken about, is going to be shared and who's going to pay for the adaptation. But in reality, these limits were set millennia ago. The limits of how far you can abuse natural systems are set by the laws of nature, and those laws are not negotiable. And the difficulty is that we now sit with a situation at this COP, as with all previous COPs and probably future COPs, where what is politically achievable, the line of what is politically achievable lies well beyond the line of what is ecologically required. In other words, in this situation, no matter how well negotiations go, what is on the table is not enough to ensure that human activities stay within the ecologically determined boundaries. And that places us in a very, very difficult position, because we are now in a situation where our societies, the industrialized societies that dominate the world, are having to face the fact that there are laws which lie outside their control. They are having to face the reality that we all are a subset of a much greater system. And that means that we have to realign our human governance systems to accord with the laws of nature. That means that we have to recognize that just as human beings have inherent rights, we claim for ourselves the right to life, the right to exist, etc., because we are an integral part of this whole and we contribute to that whole. In the same way, in order to ensure that human activities come down and are constrained sufficiently that we stay within the ecological limits, we need to recognize that all that has come into being, in other words, all the components of the wonderful system we call Earth, have rights. Now, the idea of rights sounds a little strange to people who are brought up in a culture where only corporations and people have rights. But we use rights between people as a balancing mechanism to make sure that the interests of one person is balanced against the interests of another, in a way which ensures the health of the community as a whole, harmony of the community as a whole. But we've left out our most important relationships with the rest of the planet. And for this reason, we need to recognize that just as we humans claim inherent rights of life, etc., so we must recognize and most importantly respect the rights of all other parts of this wonderful system, this Mother Earth, to contribute to the whole. And I think one of the most exciting things that we are seeing at this COP is we're seeing the civil society movement uniting ever more strongly around these issues, and we are seeing that the perspective that we are separate from and superior to nature, and that we're entitled to dominate nature, which is the dominant philosophy driving the discussions in the COP. So it's all about how far you can exploit nature. We're seeing that is being now met with an ancient philosophy which is both ancient and modern, which is that we are all part of this system, and this is undeniably true whether one looks at ancient traditions or quantum physics or ecology. And because of that, we need to adopt rights of nature to ensure that we can transform our legal mechanisms so that they balance human rights against the interests of the planet as a whole, because only in that way can we ensure human well-being, because the well-being of all humans and all human communities is derived from the health and integrity of the whole. So I think this is a very exciting moment in history as we see this strong worldview, which is both ancient and modern, re-emerging very, very strongly in the social movements.